Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial. This is a remake of my face painting tutorial. So, let's get right into it with what paints we will need. We'll need these paints listed. These are the ones that I think you should need. Skin tone, a few dark browns, white, and a rust wash, light rust wash preferably. Here are ones that you might not need, or you could use instead. I'm using a pretty small brush and some tap water, pipette to go with it. First, we're going to base coat the faces, or skin. I'm going to be using the driver for the tutorial, but I'm painting the commander with it. So, we're going to base coat the skin with white. Pretty light, or a light color in general. But pretty thin coat, though. Or it doesn't matter, just as long as it doesn't clog up and remove some of the detail in the end. So you can see right here, it's difficult for me to record this because my hand placement and the stuff I have, but I tried my best to show what is happening. I made sure to get all the parts except for the hair because I painted it already, but I'm going to repaint it later on in the video. And I'm doing this with the commander on camera too. There you can see a good view of the driver. I painted him live on yesterday's stream, so I painted both of them live. And the day before that, actually. Anyways, painting the commander. Commander, I think, was easier to paint overall. But you'll see that more later on in the video. There's not too much to say about this part, other than, really, just that, it's a white base coat for the faces. You can see there, not too good, but you can. And, sorry about the sound, just trying to experiment with some new types of content, and right now I am just voiceovering a few clips, so trying to improve the quality. Anyways, let's move on to the next part, which is getting some skin tone, and I diluted it with a few drops of water. Just a basic skin tone from Vallejo, the one I showed in the beginning. I just diluted it a little bit with some water, and you can see here, making sure not to get a lot of paint actually on the brush. You can see it has to be thin. I put about 5 or 6, actually probably 7 coats of this on each figure. Took a while, so it might take a while. I probably diluted it a bit too much for the purposes that I needed it for, but just like 1 or 2 drops would do good for you. I put probably 3 or 4, so too many. Oh well. Anyways, let's move on to the next part. You can see there after it dried, after all the base coat, after all the coats, but anyways. Next we're going to be using, let's see, am I going to get it? Right, we are going to be using either one of these colors. I think I used the air color. Yeah, I used the air color because I thought it looked better, but it didn't really make too much of a difference overall. But it depends on how much you use. Like if you're gonna paint someone that's like tanned and stuff, then I'd suggest using more of it. But I didn't use as much because this is like going out of winter into spring of 45. So probably wouldn't be too tan yet. Anyways, not too much to say about this part, just a bit of highlight. It's a bit difficult because of the faces. They're not too sculpted, but they are good enough. They turn out pretty good too. So, yeah. That's pretty much it. I think the shadowing part of the faces was better because it was more noticeable, especially on the driver, though. Not as much the commander. Yeah. Just going to watch me do that. It's a bit of a longer video. We're going to be nearing halfway through in 10 or 20 seconds, so don't worry. You're almost done. Yep. There we go. Anyways, next up, we use a light rust wash. And we're going to, well, that's it after. You can't see too much, but a little bit. I could see it better because the camera, but anyways, I got some of the light rust wash. Oh, wow. And I shook it up well. That thing's actually over a year old. Works pretty good, but I basically painted him like Donald Trump's skin, like completely orange. I did that with the commander too. So you'll see him in the background. He's covered up by the bottle there, but you probably have seen him. I painted him off camera because he's going to be more visible. I painted him closer up because I had to hold him far away. Anyways, that's how it looks. Looks like he was like blown up and just got a tan or something. I don't know. Anyways, after that, we're going to get a bit of the skin tone, but I diluted it less this time, and basically make him not look like Donald Trump, and just use the skin tone as sort of like a filter for it, so it doesn't look as bad. But most of the rust wash will be covered up by one of the last steps that you'll see. But, yeah. I think it looks pretty good after I did all this part. But they look pretty good right now. I can see them. So, yeah. Not too much to say again because I'm really weighing this right now, so basically explained it as easily as I can because my last one I didn't do too well in explaining it, and by the time I uploaded all of it, I'd already changed most of the style that I paint my figures with. Because that was a while ago. Like, I don't use dry brushing anymore. Well, some, but not that heavily. Now I use it more or less for wear instead of shading and stuff. Anyways, next up, the most tedious part is the eyes. I'm just using some Panzerace's Dark Rust from Vallejo. Very, very tedious. Screwed up a little bit because I had to hold him so far away. But on the commander, I did better. You can see him in the background. He still looks a bit tan, but at the end, after the last final layer of skin tone, they look pretty good. Anyways, the eyes, I don't try to paint them any specific color. I just paint them all like black, so you at least know they're there. Because no one's going to look at it that close up. As long as it looks good from far away. Which it does. Like, for example, on my Panzer 38T, the figure looks amazing from far away. But the closer you get, the worse it looks. But it doesn't look too bad. It's probably my best figure. But anyways, here's the part I was talking about with the shadowing. And basically just getting some skin tone and darkening it. Just so that it looks like shadow, really. I just used that brown I showed you there. I don't remember. I think that's olive brown, or I have it right here. Hold on. Yeah, chocolate brown. I used chocolate brown for that. So, but it depends on what type of, what shade of skin tone yours is, because not everyone is the same exact color. Even if you're the same race, like there's paler and darker skins, obviously. So, it doesn't matter if you're spot on with my color, which I showed you there on the lid of that. I'm painting it on the back of his head because it's a brownish color, and that's the color of his hair. This is what I was talking about, repainting his hair right here. And also, we're almost over. We have a bit over a minute left, so if you're here right now, thanks for watching this, because this took me about 3 or 4 hours to film. Anyways, here's the most questionable part, because I didn't wait for it to dry enough. But basically, you put a pin wash over the face so it has fake shadows, like what a pin wash is supposed to do. But I got hardly any of the, hardly anything on my brush, on the thing that it comes with, so that it doesn't go all over the face, but I still probably repainted most of the face. So, yeah, doesn't look too good. I didn't film the last highlight phase, but basically, you just put another layer of skin tone over it, the parts that weren't, covered. Anyways, here's how they both look. They both look pretty good. It's my hand. Didn't realize I stopped recording. I think they look best from the back, but their faces are definitely some of the best ones I've painted. They look pretty nice. Anyways, here's a penny for scale, and there's a good look at both their faces. I'll probably do